Good morning, Dragon Squad, and welcome back to the pre-show. Welcome back to Monday and a new week after the weekend, the epically short weekend. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome. I realize that I am quite late. We are trying to do some recording of videos for TikTok in the morning now, and that takes up time. And so I'm very much behind for the show. Thankfully, we got a pro joining me today. Francesca Fiorentini. Oh, damn. We also have a top 10 list, which is coming. More details on that to come. Anyway, Barbara, congrats on getting in another D&D game. That's awesome. I've been playing a little bit, too. I'm currently in a battle with a dragon, actually. But anyway, thank everybody for being here. So, Francesca's going to be joining me on a very packed TDR. Let's see. What are we going to be talking about? We're going to really dive into COVID misinformation and the battle over who's misinforming. Because, of course, like, if you want to know what the conflict is going to be in the country, just look at what the right is being justifiably criticized for. In 2 to 6 weeks, the national conversation will be them trying to turn it back. Whether it's about race or about COVID or about literally anything else. So we're going to be talking about that. We've got Gates and Green, Marjorie Green, Matt Gates, trying to have a rally in California. We'll see how that goes. The anti-sex beds at the Olympics, are they all that they're pitched to be? We'll find out about that. We got taxes, we got the IRS, we got tuna and stuff. Anyway, we got a lot that's going to be coming. You're not going to want to miss it. And then there will be a top 10 list for our Tier 2 and Tier 3. That's funny. Charlie, we will be showing that actually. We will have that later on in the day. So, but that said, we only have, Billy says, do the top 10 lists you would like to make. Oh, I do. I mean, a lot of the nerdy stuff is because that's what I wanted to do. We actually have a request for this week. I think Rachel's the name, and we're going to be doing her top 10 list. Brand says, ooh, tips for my first live pre-show from Berlin. Thank you. Thank you to both of you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on, bearing in mind that we don't have much time, unfortunately. So you're probably seeing that Biden has repatriated to some extent or transferred at the very least a Guantanamo Bay detainee to Morocco. That is not something that generally happens. And I am a little bit uncertain how to process the news. It is being pitched as the beginning of a process that will encompass more or potentially all of those still being held there. And they say that the ultimate goal is to close Guantanamo Bay. And the second I see that, I think, shut the hell up. Don't, like, it's not even the Hawkeye, don't give me hope thing. It's not even that, because it won't work. Like, it's not, like, he says that because he actually still can feel hope. I don't have any hope that they'll close it down. But look, if they get a few people out of there, I don't know, maybe that's something. It's sort of weird that people have been held there with not even them not being released, like, in the entire time that I've been doing news. But there's never even been, during that time, a plan to eventually move people out, or even a reason to hope that we will reach a plan that could then transfer the people out eventually and maybe then close down the facility. Like, it's like 3 levels away from, oh, this is how this should be adjudicated. But that said, they did transfer one guy, so that's something. Let's see. We've got the Texas Senate has passed. So obviously they're engaged in this war against critical race theory because, you know, they don't have any actual problems in Texas. So there's no problems with the energy grid or anything. So they are going to be removing lessons that are currently required that teach about the civil rights movement. Okay. You're kind of making it seem as if the fight against critical race theory is what we're saying it is. That you just don't want people to know anything. It seems like that. It seems like it's actually motivated by a little bit of racism, perhaps. I'm probably misreading it, though, in some way. In other news, we have the first felony sentencing for one of those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th. This is Paul Allard Hodgkins is going to be serving 18 months. And like I've said, I think it was yesterday, or last week, maybe even with Francesca, I don't have a dog in the fight of what the sentence should actually be. I don't know, or actually maybe it was Anna. I don't know. I don't even necessarily care I feel like a jury will come up with it. I think there has to be consequences, but whether it's 24 months, 12 months, 1 month, I don't know. I'm fairly regularly on the record as saying that I think a day in prison seems pretty rough. So I can't really wrap my mind around any amount of months. It's kind of like trying to imagine how far Mars is from Earth. My brain just doesn't work in things of that scale. That said, it seems pretty bad. And what's worse, perhaps, is the attempt by the lawyer to void the sentence. What they wanted instead was, they said, think about the shame that will follow him if he gets this sentence, saying, whatever punishment this court may provide will pale in comparison to the scarlet letter he will wear for the rest of his life. Okay, the thing is, though, you went in there. Like, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to take selfies with the MAGA shaman. Was that not the generator of a scarlet letter, perhaps? No? Okay. So he'll spend a little bit of time. I don't know how long he'll actually be in. And again, I'm not one of the people who's like, it has to be this certain amount. I want them to burn. I'm not saying anything like that. To me, it is far more important that we take the event seriously, and that preferably our elected officials take it seriously and actually pass the fucking For the People Act. That is more important to me than any one individual getting a certain number of days or whatever. Anyway, Dragon Soldier says, at the Poor People's Campaign Moral Monday at the Supreme Court, ran into Jordan Ewell. It was a great event. It was amazing seeing Jordan. That's awesome. I was actually seeing some of his shots from there. It is Hawkeye from the Avengers is who I was referencing there, actually. I recently rewatched The Avengers on Saturday. Pretty good. You can definitely feel the evolution. It's different than the current movies, but it's good. I wanted to see Loki and Black Widow after having seen, that other stuff. Anyway, quick little update on the Arizona recount. So this is a few days old. I'm not sure if you've seen it. So you might have seen, hey, they found voter fraud. And if that's where they end, they don't respect you. Because they're hiding the actual details. The actual details is Arizona County election officials identified fewer than 200 cases of potential voter fraud. Okay, so 182. Out of that, there were a certain number, a much smaller number that they actually, 151 were forwarded. They didn't refer 25 from voters over age 70 because there was a greater chance those errors were the result of memory lapses or confusion. But most importantly, of all the ones that they did forward, none resulted in duplicate ballots being counted twice. They were actually detected. There was no evidence of any actual fraudulent votes intentionally. And bear in mind that in that state, in Arizona, Biden won by 10,000 votes. So you would have to have exponentially more to have had any effect on it. And that's the product of a couple of months of investigation. Not the last, by the way, that we'll have for Arizona. Kind of feel like all the attention on the right for this recount. It's interesting that they really aren't that focused on the end of it. That's sort of weird. Exactly, yeah, there were some errors, which is going to happen when there's millions of votes, but not any sort of coordinated thing. And by the way, they didn't show that ballot drop boxes had really effed people over, that having extra days for voting before the election screwed people over. There was no evidence that absentee ballots being counted after the election closed screwed anybody over. No. It can't be tied to any of that, but they're still going to outlaw as much of that as they can in as many states as they can. Kathy McIntyre says, happy Fantastic Monday with Francesca, and can't wait for the top 10 list later. Thank you, Kathy. That's very nice of you. Happy Monday to you, too. Stick says, dragon love to all. Hey, Sticks, how's it going? Okay, oh, God, we're running low in time. Okay, I had another story that I was going to do. I'm going to save it and maybe do it actually tomorrow, where I think we have... hold. I think we have David Schuster. David Schuster is going to be joining me. And, oh, by the way, really exciting. Do you know who I'm interviewing tomorrow? India Walton. No big deal. Socialist. Got elected as mayor of Buffalo. How exciting is that going to be? We're going to be talking about, how to run and how to win as a leftist, what she hopes to get done, what she thinks about what's going on politically. So it should be pretty exciting. Okay, so with that, thank you. It looks like people are excited. I'm excited as well. I'm going to be a little bit nervous, actually. Okay, so let's talk about the headline story. So Bill O'Reilly is getting pissed off about tickets. What does that mean? Well, you might have seen the stories coming out over the past few days that the Donald Trump Bill O'Reilly history tour, which those are the people that I would want my history from. They are history, and that they're 1,000. But anyway, so news had been coming out that the 4 events that they're going to have weren't selling particularly well. Not that they weren't selling at all, but that they weren't selling out. You could go to buy a ticket, and you could see how much remained to be sold. Now, I felt like it's months in advance. That seems reasonable. Bear in mind, though, MAGA world has been desperate for some Donald Trump, right? For quite a while. Like, they want to see him. He's been silenced by the censorious left. So now, here's your opportunity, so jump on it. And some people might say, well, okay, but it's a live event in person, and, COVID, like, what if there's another wave? Okay, that's true and very reasonable, but I think of all of the people least likely to be influenced by that, it's the target audience for this. And yet, not selling very well. And sources at those actual places are saying, for instance, we have concerts that are doing a lot better than this. There's still a lot of tickets open. Now, who is mad about this news? Well, that would unfortunately be Bill O'Reilly, who says it's false, it's totally ridiculous. We haven't spent a nickel on marketing, nothing. All those he says there's $7 million in tickets. We're done on the announcement. Marketing will start in about a week. Nobody has sold tickets this fast at this price. VIPs are sold out at 3 of the 4 venues. You put one word in there that's not true, talking to a reporter, I'll sue your ass off. You can quote me on that. He seems confident. He seems like if I had actually sold out all of the tickets, I too would viciously attempt to strangle anyone who implied I hadn't. But hey, relax a little bit, okay? Honestly, I don't know why any political event like this would sell out. So, look, if I did this event, it wouldn't sell $7 million in tickets. So, honestly, if you get anything, that's pretty good. Bill O'Reilly, you're 1 billion years old. Nobody's seen you for years. I can't imagine what's left of your... when you were around, your fan base was 90 on average. So, if anybody's still around to go, you should feel pretty that's a compliment. But then there is Trump, and I think that's really more of what this is about. What's interesting is that he's freaking out rather than Trump. Now, maybe the Trump freak out is coming. But I didn't realize that Bill O'Reilly was so obsessed with ratings, basically. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm sure that they'll sell a bunch eventually. It is still the former president, and he still does have a lot of psychos who love him. So just calm down, Bill O'Reilly. You're going to be fine. You're still a millionaire. They didn't take all your money for all the women that you abused throughout your ridiculous career. But anyway, so that's all that we have for the pre-show, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Marco is giving me the clock, so I know it's time to go. But we've got a great show that's coming up. Fantastic Monday is going to roll on with Francesca Fiorentini. So you can either stay here, go get yourself a hot beverage, maybe a couple slices of toast or something, and we'll be back in just a few.